Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode 3 of The Emperor's Tears. Oh, how are we all?
Good.
Doing good.
Good. I just thought I'd throw us straight in today rather than waffle bullshit for a few minutes.
That's my job.
All right.
I mean, I thought I'd do it just to to get to your job a little quicker, because the only reason we're here is just to hear your recap of last session.
I hope not. If it is, if that's the reason why anybody's here, leave.
So, touch wood. Stream's good. After last week's little derp fest towards the end, but we'll see how it goes.
Spoilers, we all died.
Maybe. Sneeze, rave on, Noxious, welcome in. I think Yeti's lurking in there somewhere as well. But without further ado, Constantine, you want to give us a brief rundown of what happened last week
Stuff
on the Emperor's
and
Tears?
things. So we caught up with the group after regroupment, and we're like, right, next on the list, let's go find this fucking priest that was sent to go investigate and just kind of fucking disappeared. Let's go check his room. So Severin was given the job to find the way, and find the way he did. However, this place is fucking huge. The cathedral is the size of a bastard city, so it took fucking forever to get there. And along the way, there was some fuckery. I think everybody got some fuckery, right? Finlay was hearing voices because he's a fucking psycho. Errol doesn't like his own reflection. And there's chaos shit everywhere.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah. How dare you, Callie? Go fuck yourself. So yeah, but they managed to get to the domes eventually. And Errol was kind enough to knock on the door gently, so naturally the door fell off its hinges. And squish what was left of the dead guy on the other side of the fucking door.
I forgot about that.
Not too badly. Thankfully, those doors weren't made that great. But yeah, we found the dead body of the priest that we were looking for. We're like, well, shit. Turns out, I don't think we got a cause of death, exsanguination, but we don't know if he was murdered or did that to himself. It looked like he scratched his own fucking eyeballs out, right? And
Yeah.
just mental, as his notebook was full of, at first, keen observations, and then just crazy batshit bullshit.
Heretical batshit bullshit.
Yeah. But our resident Negus Biologicus was like, yeah, I'm going to stick this thing up his bum and test his blood. Turned out he'd been using the creepy tainted blood to I don't know, fucking snort. What do heretics do with blood? Huh? Use it as eye drops? Probably. It's probably why he fucking tore his eyes out. Eye drops. It's canon now.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
Um,
I want to cry like the Emperor. Let me put this blood in my eye so I can cry.
It's a fucking shit fashion statement. Meanwhile, Finlay was getting updates from the marshal, who was like, shit may or may not be fucked. So yeah, it turns out planet's going to hell in a handbasket, and they had a full-scale uprising or riot. It's hard to tell in the 41st millennium because they both take bolter fire to put down, right? Apparently. So yeah, and then it was on to we were gonna head to the service tunnels after that. We got waylaid by some peoples. Some people may or may not have gotten either just slapped out of the way by Errol, fucking gunned down just for getting in the way. Till we found the access to where we needed to go. And lo and behold, fucking heretics everywhere. And they saw us coming because you can't be quiet when you have an 8-foot tall, 2-ton abhuman with you covered in tank armor. And they're like, shit, Inquisition's here. So a fight broke out, which turned into a less than a fight. It was more of a massacre. It was kind of brutal.
It was a little brutal, to be honest.
Fucking, you had Tor just hiding around corners waiting for people to come, and it's like, and chainsaw. Anybody that came around the corner, he just cleaved it off. And he had Severin just putting silence holes in people's foreheads. Finley throwing crack grenades at people not wearing armor. Poor flagstones are fucked. And then you had Errol, who was just... I mean, he's Errol. Hold on the trigger on his fucking Ripper gun. Time's a good one.
Absolutely.
Unless you're on the receiving end. And I believe that's where we left it.
Absolutely.
I just want to say, in defense of Finley, when using the crack grenades, don't be part of the problem, be the entire problem with those things.
That thing over there offends me. I want it gone. Crack. Yeah. Pretty much. That's top and bottom of it. Anything anyone else wishes to add to that?
Finley pawned the status update and report off from the Inquisitor to Constantine.
That's a good point. You did. Constantine, you got a report to write.
Yeah. I do believe we also talked to the Inquisitor, and she's sending help in the form of troops.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. With the fight over down below in the Ossuary of Martyred Rest, bodies of the dead lined the tight and narrow confines of the tomb. And if you remember, the very last thing we ended on was, I believe, Severin overhearing the sound of
a binoric screech.
Indeed. So, with the tunnels now quietening down, a few pained groans coming from the odd cultist as the last sap of life leaves their body. Down towards one of the lower corridors, Severin, you hear this staticky crackle. Not enough to be completely a formed sentence, but enough for you to understand that someone or something that speaks Binaric is nearby. And as you glance down this corridor, there's a multitude of sarcophagi that line the walls. Again, this place is the giant underground complex, the resting place of all the soldiers who died during St. Tarsian's crusade. The cultists that were here were no doubt breaking open sarcophagus tombs, looking for any and all bits of salvage, be it medals, old weapons perhaps, or just anything they could get their grubby little hands on. Or, considering that these may be pious individuals, maybe they wanted something to offer the Emperor, or as a memento for their service, dedication to the Emperor's cause. Sadly, we'll never know, because at this point, all of those in the vicinity lie dead and dying. Severin, what's the plan?
Quickly through the Vox beat after hearing this. Tor, one of yours is down here somewhere.
I'll be there shortly. Just give me a few seconds to catch up.
And Severin had just gotten to this door, so he's just going to get to the side of it with his pistols ready in case anything stirs in there. And give everybody a chance to catch up.
Alright, so that's Severin, Tor making their way. Finley, what are you up to during all this?
Just as he's making his way towards everyone else, any cultists that are like in the process of still dying, you just hear the occasional blap from his las carbine as he walks by them, making his way towards their position. Just making sure that they're dead.
Excellent. Errol, Constantine, any of you two doing anything?
Well, Constantine will probably follow him behind Finley and make sure Errol doesn't get lost.
Errol's just following along like a puppy.
So it doesn't take too long for you all to maneuver around the circular chamber of this small part of the ossuary. Eventually you approach Severin. By this point, Tor's probably the first to catch up, so the rest of you would see Tor and Severin stood at the doorway to a small crypt.
Well, what do we have?
I heard some of that tech priest chatter.
Could that be from the missing team that the Mechanicus sent down?
It's a possibility, but the only way to confirm it would be to lay our own eyes upon them.
Well, only one way to find out. And Severin will round the corner, just pistols up, expecting there to be a cultist somewhere laying in wait.
Roll me an awareness check. An easy awareness check, please, Severin, as you're the first one rounding the corner.
Yeah, okay. Awareness. Easy.
God damn it. So, as you round the corner, the first thing you see is a glint of a barrel aiming at the first thing to come round the corner. And it's no small barrel either. This appears to be the barrel of an Inferno pistol. A small, one-handed melter weapon. What do you do?
He's going to step beyond the barrel so it's not able to point at him. If it's like that close, he's just going to try to, to get out of the danger zone of it.
You've not been spotted. As you round the corner, you just see the barrel. You have full control over how you want to approach this, with the fact that whatever is holding this Inferno pistol behind the corner has got an astounding failure on their reaction.
Then Severin is going to, seeing this and realizing that everyone else is behind him and might not see it, he's going to duck around the corner as fast as he can and try to come up underneath and put his pistols to whatever's holding this thing.
Perfect. You dip under the barrel, pop up alongside a member of the Cult Mechanicus. Red robes, a shaking hand holding this Inferno pistol, and tucked behind him, pressed against the walls, are two white-robed members of the Ecclesiarchy. Priests like those above, but immediately there's a horrified scream from a woman, a gasp from the other priest, and the Mechanicus agent just stands there, slowly turns his head to look at you.
I would be dead already if you were not here to talk, discuss. You are not with the heretics, I trust?
No, we're not here with the freaks. Lower the weapon.
It pauses for a moment before slowly nodding.
I will comply.
Go on.
If he lowers the weapon, Deverin's going to kind of take a step back and then slowly lower his pistols.
All right. The tech priest slowly begins to lower the Inferno pistol, which will probably give the others chance, having heard this Vox speak, that they will comply.
Good. Door, I was right.
Is it one of the survey crews?
Come ask him yourself. You could probably communicate better through that trilling.
You humans and your misunderstanding of binary. And Tor is going to slowly approach as well.
Alright, Tor, you circle the corner and see a fellow member of the Mechanicus seemingly protecting two members of the priesthood. Hands down by his side, and at this he'll look at you, Tor, offer a single nodding greeting as he attaches the Inferno pistol to the side of his leg. And the two priests behind him would start to continue to cower. They would both sit down, looking up towards you, Severin, in absolute fear, whilst the Mechanicus agent would turn to you, Tor, and immediately just start bombarding you in Binaric.
Another member of the mechanic. I do not recognize your designation. I am Lex Mechanic Dacon Vor. A pleasure to meet you. And may I say your timely assistance can only be of the Omnizire's design.
It is our pleasure to offer you assistance, Lex Menike. My name is Tor. We are actually from off-world. Inquisitor actually sent us to investigate what's happening down here.
Sent by the Inquisition. Things were bad, but I was unaware that these would be this bad. How are things topside?
Topside appears to be a slight riot going on right now. It seems this contamination pouring from the eyes of the statues is infecting these lowly humans with chaos energy.
That makes perfect and complete sense. We have been down here for, well, too long. We were sent down part of a reconnaissance investigation team to discover potential issues, taint, problems with, well, seismic disturbances.
Tor is going to pull out his data slate, upload what he's learned of the shard and the effects of it being removed, and he's going to hand it over to this other tech priest so he can read through it all.
The Lex Mechanic takes the data slate, plugs a small cable that extends from his wrist into it, and begins to analyze the data sent. Whilst this is going on, what are the rest of you up to?
So these guys are screeching at each other in binary, right?
Yeah.
I have my fingers in my ears because it does noise.
Finley's about as far away as he can humanly be from the speaking that's going on. He's like deliberately jacked his vox speed into the voxcaster and is just, even if it's just static, is just trying to drown out the sound of the binaric.
Oh no, it's not just static anymore. Every single frequency you flick through, you just hear.
For centuries the ecclesiarchy has told us to wait, to bow our heads and accept suffering. But no longer! The Emperor himself has sent us a sign. This blood, this miracle is his voice crying out to us, commanding us to rise and prepare. The time for silence is over. The time for action has come.
And it's just continual. Every single Vox channel that you flick through, even down here, it's the same.
Would rather listen to that than binary.
And it's not just him, it's a complete tirade of these inspiring words, should we say. And I would say, Finley, that if you can receive it this far down underground, on constant repeat on every Vox channel, there's probably people and enforcers topside who are going round shooting speakers at this point. All right. Severin, Errol, anything you two are up to?
Well, Errol's trying to make the two priests feel a little bit more secure by smiling at them. Because the little hats obviously work for the big hat.
Yep. Roll me a... Let's go for a report. Are you trying to be charming, Errol? Would you say that's a charm?
Yeah, absolutely.
In that case, if you would roll me a just a normal, challenging report charm, please, as these two priests who are cowering in the corner see this giant lump of metal and flesh Perhaps the first time they've seen an abhuman or an ogren, and whatever colour they had in their face is probably gone. If they could get any smaller, they would. They're both pressed together in the very corner of this small tomb, this tomb room, hugging each other, crying, sniffling, snot dribbling down their nose, and one of them's just there going, "The Emperor protects! The Emperor protects! The Emperor protects!" The woman's there screeching, screaming, "Please don't hurt me!" It's going well.
Elgie shrugs his shoulders, pops his carapace helmet back on, and goes to find a wall to lean on.
The woman passes out. As soon as you put the helmet on, just... The screaming stops, her body goes limp, her eyes roll back, and she just faints. In sheer terror.
Oh, for Emperor's sake.
Very quickly, Link for real, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Welcome in. Welcome to the madness.
Finley looks up to see the lady slump. Looks at Earl, gives him a big thumbs up, like "well done," and then I'm gonna chuck him some like a piece of food of like, "Hey, here you go, well done."
With speed, unbeknownst to anyone, the helmet comes off again, and the food's crammed straight into El's mouth.
Excellent. So whilst the rest of you were just milling around, the Lex mechanic finally finishes reading over, or at least going over, absorbing the data that's been passed to him by the data slate. He unplugs himself from the data slate and hands it back towards you, Tor.
Interesting. Very interesting. It appears that, well, that is the reason we have been down here for a considerable amount of time. Yes. The shard. And we have information regarding the cult, the penitents of blood, I believe they call themselves. These two.
And the Lex mechanic motions over towards the two priests in the corner. One who's now passed out, the other one who's still crying, snivelling. And it's at that moment the Lex mechanic just turns back to you, Tor.
It seems your friends have given them quite the scare, but understandable. We have been avoiding these things for a while.
It is unavoidable in situations like this, yes. Are they hurt? Do they need any medical attention?
Their forms are unbroken, bar from the things that they have seen down here, but I'm sure they will be fine. Worst case scenario, admitted for upgrades, yes?
Tor's gonna look over to the two on the ground and kind of give a nod, like, yes. Upgrades are exactly what they need.
Give them the blessing of higher cognitive powers, and I am sure they will be fine. Perhaps even more useful going forward. It has been troublesome to keep them operating through this endeavor. Now,
Turns down, away from the two priests.
you mentioned you are here on Inquisitorial orders, yes?
Yes, we are.
Then you are no doubt looking for the aforementioned shard that was perhaps placed beneath the cathedrum at some point.
We are now, yes.
Then I believe this is perhaps a fortuitous meeting, as the shard that was once entombed within the confines of St. Tarsium has been relocated, embedded in what I believe to be a statue of St. Tarsium. Moved to held. Process.
The tech priest goes limp, stiff for a moment as he takes his own data slate out and begins to plug himself into it. And for you, Tor, you would know that this is him cross-referencing something from his own data slate before speaking. But how long this will take?
Tor, what's going on?
He is processing information at the moment. The two on the ground over there, they're unhurt, but their mental states are unknown.
I don't want any baggage slowing us down. Understood?
Understood.
With a brief static hiss, the Lex mechanic then looks back towards you, Tor.
Processing complete. Here, this is the information acquired during our exploration down into the depths. There is a old reservoir. Pumping station was inadequate. Damaged. Not damaged, but required power. There was a
Pauses for a moment.
profane jury rigging of power to the structure. Effigy placed on top of pump.
That's when you hear the man who's now seems to have got over a little bit of his fear just go, I'm sorry to bother you all, my lords. Are you those? Is this about the excursion below?
Yes, and since you're not screeching at me in binaric, then perhaps you could use actual words to fill me in.
Of course, my lord. It looks towards the Lex mechanic and the new member of the cult Mechanicus, seeing that those two are in deep conversation, and the fact that he's not getting his head stoved in by Errol. He begins to nod and shakily rise to his feet. Bows his head towards you, Constantine, and at this point now would be able to take in the group arrayed in front of him. The fact that you are a finely dressed individual, what looks to be a veteran guardsman, along with this giant humanoid he's never seen before, and last but not least, the pale, sneaky visage of Severin. Are you here to rescue us?
No. We're here on the Emperor's business.
I see. Then before I... is the way out safe? At the very least, my lord.
Constantine gives Finley and Severin a known look of,
Maybe, maybe not.
I see. Well, for you doing the Emperor's work, there are a few things that I believe you need to know. Members of the Penitent of the Blood are down here. Members of a man by the name of Father Albrecht has got individuals riled up into some cult. I originally, along with Alana here, we were brought down to... They tried to recruit us, but we saw it for what it truly was.
are you all of the group that was brought down?
No, there was many of us. We ended up bumping into the Lex mechanic here along with members of his team, but at least 13, 14 of us have perished along the way back to the surface. We're the only survivors, my lord.
Constantine, if were tempted to be recruited, it may be best to have them checked over to make sure they haven't been dabbling in any of that blood.
Oh, we haven't, my lord. Neither I nor Alana. We didn't partake. We saw. We knew this is not the Emperor's way. This is not what we are taught.
Oh, good. Then you won't mind giving a blood sample to my friend.
He puts his hands over his throat quick. Sheer terror. Sample, my lord.
A drop of blood, you imbecile.
He nods, slowly takes his hands away from his throat, and offers a handout.
Tor, while your friend is doing whatever, just quickly test the priests for me. I don't even know what that is.
As Tor is talking with the Lex Mechanicus, he's just gonna move his mechadendrite over and kind of stab into the man's fingers. You get a drop of blood.
All right. While you're doing that, roll me an easy human Medicae check, please.
Fail. Stab him in the eye.
Instructions unclear.
The mechadendrite reaches over whilst you're deep in conversation, but with a easily done. The mechadendrite reaches around Lex Mechanic, stabs into the hand of the priest. You just hear him like, "Oh, Emperor protects." So yeah, whilst having this conversation, I imagine you're going to be running the tests on this extracted blood.
Yes, he is.
All right. So if the priest begins to rub his hand as blood begins to trickle down and drip onto the floor. You are here on behalf of the Inquisition, then I dare say it's Father Albrecht you're wanting to bring in for questioning, my lord? Yes?
If possible. If not, then the Emperor's justice shall suffice. Do you have any idea of how many there are? Numbers.
Numbers, my lord. Down this far in the crypt, apart from the ones outside, there was probably 40 of them, perhaps, further down.
And any armaments? Any mutants, actually. We came across mutants back there. And he'll point around the corner. Yes. Yes. Any mutants? And any weapons?
Most of them have, at least from the glimpse that I got, have started showing a few signs. The odd one had a tentacle protruding from the back of his neck. Said it was a gift from the Emperor himself, but as we all know, that is not gift from the God Emperor. That is a malady of the soul.
That is so. That is so. Your faith in the Emperor allowed you to see through this. How shall I put it? Heresy. Yeah, heresy.
It is a shame, though, my lord, because Father Albrecht used to be a pious man. Used to lead many sermons, but again, just recently, a couple of months back is when it all started. Used to be calling something of the Crimson Tide or the Voice of Salvation. That was the first glimpse. I should have seen it there, but no, people got wrapped up, and before you know it, I was being dragged down here, God knows where, below the cathedral. Oh, God. So many bodies, my lord.
Bodies?
He retches for a moment as if remembering something and brings a hand to his mouth. Those who were found wanting, I guess. I snuck around. That's when, well, bumped into, and he points towards the Lex Mechanicus. Unfaithful, undeserving, they said. They're just dumped, bled, pumped into a canal, a reservoir, a body of water deep in a cave. That's when I ran. Took Elara with me and a few others. We made our way, fighting through the darkness of this place for a week or so, and it's difficult to move when you don't have a map, my lord. Eventually bumped into the Lex Mechanicus, and he was part of a team sent down there and saw the same thing.
Oh. So our resident cogboy here has a map, does he? Tor! Stop screeching, Tor.
So, Tor, the information that you've been discussing back and forth, a map has been mentioned. In fact, let's find out. So, Lex Mechanic turns to you, Tor, and takes his own data slate, offers it towards you. This is all information that was gathered during our expedition down here. Effigy was spotted on the pump, and it wasn't long before we started making attempts to study. After a few days, some of the priesthood started to lose their mind, become frenzied. Malady sets over their thoughts, and therefore we disposed of them, sent them back topside for testing. Tor, can you roll me just a straight, easy tech skill, please?
Of course.
As you take the data slate, plug in and begin to go through, oh my god, the vast amounts of data. First things first, do you have any questions that you wish to ask in regards to what's been found, or is anything, any burning desires that you have?
First thing, he mentioned noticing effigies,
Yes.
but have they tried removing the effigies?
Well, as you begin to pour through the data, it was a single effigy, a statue roughly 1.5 meters in size, with this red gem in the center of it. That's
Okay.
what they didn't move it, because that's what they started to study, and its effects on the water in the depths. And that's where it became apparent, with the information now in your possession, that this thing was emanating warp-based signatures. People then started to go mad. They sent them away, sent them off topside. And as you begin to pour through a little more data, it seems that whatever this shard was the focal point for all of the weird happenings that have been happening in the last sort of month or so. Anything else you wish to put forward?
A detailed map of the layout of the undergrounds down here.
Yep, there is a map. Now, the Ossuary of Martyred Rest is huge. It seems to be a 6 to 7 level catacomb, a maze-like structure that goes for miles in all directions. Navigating this, you're looking at anywhere from 8 to 12 hours minimum, even with a map, just to get towards the reservoir site that the team were investigating.
Okay. I've got in my notes from the last time that we already had maintenance tunnel maps of this place from the cogitator up top.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. So basically, the maintenance tunnels tie in and loop between some of the catacombs. So potentially, you could
Okay.
cut that time
Potential
down.
shortcuts.
Absolutely.
Okay. Other than that, I don't really have any specific questions.
Okay. Roll me one last thing. Just give me a quick a logic investigation, a challenging, straight roll.
Okay. Investigation.
Okay. Nothing really catches your eye as you continue to scroll through the vast amounts of readings from the dig site, or not so much dig site, but from the investigation site. Makeup of how many people went down, a few readings of the areas, some of the seismic disturbances, the warp readings, all standard stuff. Seems to match up with what was detected on the cogitator top side.
Okay.
And at that, the sound of binaric screeching stops.
Tor is going to basically make a copy of all the information, and he's going to hold out his hand for Constantine's data slate. Hand it over. I can upload it to yours as well.
Wonderful. Redundancy. And he hands over his deck slip.
And Tor's going to take a couple minutes and kind of pour through the information, uploading only the relevant data that's needed
Okay.
before handing it back.
Constantine, anything you wish to do with the data?
So now I have same as what Tor's got. I've got the two overlays of the service tunnels and the catacombs, right?
Correct.
I'm immediately gonna be like, okay, where I'm gonna turn to them. Where's the reservoir? Point. Show me on the map. Where's the reservoir?
Tor is going to relay that information to the Lex Mechanicus.
Directly at the bottom level, it's you zoom in on a small portion of the catacombs that seems to be almost like a cave. There aren't too many tunnels nearby. In fact, it only seems that one maintenance tunnel services this cave, this cavernous mass on the map, to the point where this thing may have been forgotten about for many, many, many years.
Interesting. Okay, and he's gonna start planning a route.
Roll me an easy navigation check.
Fuck's navigate. There we go. Surface.
Yeah, I think
Or
surface.
just normal.
just
normal navigation.
I mean, yeah, just a straight navigation will be sufficient. But yeah, very easy.
Navigation.
Very easy.
Very
you've
easy.
You've got the maintenance tunnels. You've got the entire map. If you're spending time looking through it, it's not going to be difficult at all. You spend a few moments, look through and plan a route that takes you almost leapfrogging, bunny hopping from tomb corridor to maintenance tunnel, tomb corridor, access lift. For someone like Errol, it's not going to be a pleasant journey by any means. It's going to be dark, it's going to be cramped. But instead of it taking 8 to 12 hours, you can easily cut that down to probably between 6 to 8.
So he's gonna use like an auto quill and he's gonna be like, right, I'll sketch that and do a direct route and go. Severin, I want you to take point. This is our route and our destination. Sneaky as you like, take point.
Oh, good. Can't wait to see what they have in store for us along the way.
Yes, that's why you're going first. Unless you want to hold Errol's hand in the dark.
I'll take my chances with the taking point.
Oh.
And Severin, with that, is going to just take the map and just start going and trying to keep an eye out for ambushes, traps, anything, trying to get a bit of a lead on everybody so that they won't all be there if something arises.
Okay. Any last questions or anything for the Lex Mechanic and the remaining priest as you depart this small chamber that they've been holed up in for the last God knows how long?
The Emperor thanks your service and your strength in this endeavor.
The priest bows his head, makes the sign of the Aquila on his chest. Thank you, my lord. Good. May the Emperor protect and bless you in the trials that will no doubt face below.
The Emperor protects. Be careful.
Tor, the blood did come back clean, by the way.
Oh, good.
He wasn't hasn't been corrupted or tainted by the ichor below.
Just a little stressed out.
Just a little stressed out.
I just realized we never tested the girl. He's gonna do that real quick.
roll me a. If the rest aren't rushing you, then an easy human Medicaid test. If you are being rushed, then it'll be challenging.
I leave it to Constantine.
No, you've got a few moments because I've got to placate Errol because Ogrons don't do good in dark, cramped spaces.
Okay.
How'd you placate him, Constantine? I want to know.
With cheese.
I like cheese.
Yeah, I know you do. That's good. And if you're really quiet and really good, I'll make sure you get more cheese when we get back to the ship. The good stuff, right?
Stinky stuff.
Yeah, the really stinky cheese.
Deal.
Okay.
You just notice a string of drool start to come down the side of Errol's chin.
The test for Alana also comes back clear.
Good. Last thing we need is letting a mutant go.
With that, though, you begin to set off. You see the Lex Mechanic also start to make his way out behind you to continue towards the surface. Behind him are the two priests. The woman slung over the shoulders, still passed out. Perhaps weak through the due to the trek through the catacombs, but this ecclesiarchy priest will certainly be using this Lex Mechanic as cover to get out of here, since if he was left alone, I don't fancy the chances of getting out.
Not my fucking problem.
Before dipping down a side alley in Binaric, you would hear something just rattle out. Tor, roll me a challenging hearing test, please. Through the echo of the catacombs, the screech, you wouldn't be able to make out the words exactly, but something about a servitor reaches your ear.
He's going to let it go for now, while he tries to ponder what could have been the rest of the message.
Okay. You've got quite the journey ahead of you all. It's planned, prepped, but still a vast expanse of winding corridors, of access tunnels that you're going to have to navigate. I'm going to give you all a think of a little complication that happens and how you resolve it whilst on this journey. I'm going to give you time to think about that while we have our first refill clock. So it could be anything. It could be bumping into a group of the penitents of the blood and you clearing them out, or it could be perhaps a natural hazard that's cropped up. And we'll see what everyone says when they get to it. So we will be but a moment, just to showcase some of your abilities, shall we say? Okay. Alright, in that case, I will be but a moment. Cheers, Durs. And yeah, we shall have a pee break and a refill o'clock. So, a couple of moments.
Oosh, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I have a croissant filled with peanut butter.
That's all.
A freshly made croissant.
I'm back, and if you're having a croissant, I fully expect a white flag to be flown soon.
Holy shit. Oh, I too have returned. Right.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I am jealous of your pastry.
It's very good.
I'm sure it is.
It's just peanut butter bread.
So, with that said then, and your journey deeper into the Ossuary of Martyred Rest begins. The first little incident that occurs. What is it? What happens? Who is it?
It's Errol.
Of course it is. Go on, Errol. What happens?
It's a partially collapsed piece of tunnel which is really tight to get through, and Errol gets caught.
Let's...
Con
Yeah. Oh,
stuck.
I could see that. Is it just like rubble and shit?
Yeah. His shoulders are just jammed in this tiny little hole.
Roll me a let's go with a challenging might check, Errol.
You think?
Yeah. Yes, as you plod on, you move maybe a little forward, and it causes you to just get stuck even more. There's this horrific screeching of metal as your shoulder pauldrons begin to scratch the side.
Still stuck.
I could see that, Errol. Okay. So with his augmetic arm, Constantine's gonna start. He's at first gonna tap his mock speed and be like, "Oh, Errol's stuck," and then start digging him out with his augmetic limb, just ripping out fucking masonry and that until Errol can wiggle out like a big fat worm.
I would say that adds a good half an hour onto the journey. Not only due to the fact of you taking time to remove the masonry, but now, Errol, you're a little more cautious, having to squeeze your shoulders together to get through some of the tight confines.
Don't like it.
Think of the cheese, Errol. Think of the cheese. Doesn't take long though after that until another issue crops up. We'll go with Constantine, who is babysitting Errol, and he keeps turning around and ends up just tripping on a pile of bones because there's fucking skelly bobs here everywhere, and ends up getting entangled in about 6 different rib cages. He's like upside down. He's like, "Gacking sake." Errol, help me. Errol.
I just lean down and pick him up by the back of his jacket. Like you do a toddler. Hold him so his face is pointing my nose, and I'll be like, "You okay now?"
Yes. Thank you very much, Errol.
Constantine,
You can put me down.
before you do that, just roll me a quick. I would say, just a normal dexterity, challenging dexterity roll, please. You are okay, with the exception of one of these rib cages. When it broke, it wrapped around your thigh. So as Errol picks you up, you've got this ancient rib cage now acting almost like a like a greave to your leg, and as he puts you down, you just spend a little bit of time just trying to break the last few ribs of this ancient rib cage to free yourself completely.
I'll just kick him the wall and shit. Get off.
Bad wall.
Yes, very bad wall.
An hour passes as you continue to make your way through the first layer, down into some of the maintenance tunnels that spiral down to the second layer. Anyone have any issues here?
Finley can have
Go on,
it,
Finley.
as they're kind of moving through. As they go down, there's a bit of a gap where everything is kind of, the floor is falling out, and he needs to jump over it.
All right. Do you want to see how this works? How this goes?
Yeah.
Give me just a straight challenging athletics check, please, Finley. As this involves both running, jumping, climbing, might. You make it across. Just. But as you turn around, Severin, you'll be the first one across. So, who's after Finley?
Probably Tor, right?
Yeah,
Totally.
Tor, give me a difficult athletics check, please.
I have to?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Tor goes to jump the crevice. But, in fact, Tor, what was the reason you failed? Why did your toe hit something? Did you slip on? What happened?
So, adepts of the cult mechanicus aren't exactly concerned with, having the ability to jump. So his leg muscles are, they're kind of
The flesh is weak.
deteriorated a little bit. Yes, the flesh is weak, and he just doesn't have the oomph to cross the gap.
All right. So with that, then, Finley, how do you help get Tor out of this situation?
As he's kind of just clinging onto the side, I'm gonna attempt to just pull him up without trying to destroy his. Like initially, like reaching down, trying to grab anything available, like grabbing onto his extra arm there.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing, oh shit, don't want to pull on that too hard, and then wrapping my arm and hand around his arm and hand and pulling him up out of the hole that he's like trying to not slide into.
Excellent. So from failure to hero. God, well done. Constantine and Errol joined shortly afterwards, having seen this exchange ahead of them. You both would easily be able to make the jump, knowing that it's there. From that point on, the group continues down again through maintenance tunnels. A couple of tight hatches for you, Errol, before reaching the 4th level. At this point, I would say approximately 4 hours has passed. There hasn't been a great deal of interesting or notable locations. It's almost like the feeling of deja vu. Every single corner looks to be like the rest, with sarcophagus, tombs, plaques, placards spread the entire length of this giant maze. But upon reaching the 4th level, another complication. Either Tor or Severin.
I guess Tor will take this one.
Okay.
So Severin's out in front, right?
Correct.
So it's
Yes.
Severin, Finley. Okay. So as we're walking down one of the maintenance alleys, one of the pipes, being as old as they are, and it's carrying a lot of steam, it has built up enough pressure to burst as soon as Finley walks past it. So it bursts right behind Finley and cuts off the access to the rest of the tunnel. So now Tor, Constantine, and Errol need to find another way around.
Oh, roll me a navigation check, please. Tor, challenging. Son of a bitch.
The Omnissiah saves.
So with that, I'll come back to you in a moment. Severin and Finley, as this ancient pipe behind you ruptures, you hear the sound of metal getting scattered across stone before a cloud of dust plumes past you, steam heavy in the air as it begins to gush from this open pipe. What do you two do?
Well, Severn, there's no way we're going back through that, and they're not getting through that. Is there any sort of junction up ahead that they'd meet us at?
Severn's going to look at the map and try to figure out where the shortest route, because obviously someone in the back has the same map, because
Correct.
Constantine's back there. And he's going to pinpoint it with his finger, and looks to be here, and just start heading that way to rally with them when they arrive, hopefully.
All right. You proceed on, get to a junction, obviously well ahead of them. I would imagine you stand there, leant against the wall. Anything you wish to do while you're waiting for them?
Finley will take his mask off, his carapace helmet, and puff away on what's little left of a cigar he's been having for the better part of some time.
Can you just imagine that you have a couple of puffs and then put it out, put it back in a pouch?
Yep.
Every time you open the pouch, it smells horrific because you've been smoking it for that long. Excellent. All right, so with that, Tor, what happens with you and Errol and Constantine?
Well, luckily with Constantine's input and with his help, we're able to kind of quickly solve the issue. But we had to take a few extra maintenance tunnels and another one of the crypt tunnels as well to basically just make a big circle, I guess.
Yep.
I have a talent help for that.
Dear.
I do.
What is that talent?
I have the attentive assistant talent.
Right.
I'm a dutiful assistant, rendering aid with efficiency and aplomb. Even when the activity would normally be outside your skill set, you can use the help action to assist someone, even if you do not have advances in the skill set. Additionally, if you do have an advance, they gain +1 SL on the test.
All right, in that case then, I'm going to say, well, in fact, I'll let you, before you describe how you cut the time down, etc. Orkskull, thank you. It is a raid. Welcome in, raiders. Welcome to our little darkened corner of Twitch. And all, my dude, I hope your stream went well. Hope the old Viking game was an absolute smashing success. I caught the first bit, obviously, before this. But yeah, and again, thank you for those 14 months of resub. Appreciate you, buddy. We're currently playing Imperium Maledictum, a Warhammer 40,000 TTRPG. We're in the tomb, giant labyrinthine maze of the dead, hunting down heresy, basically. It has been too long, tell me about it. So, where were we? Tor, having been separated from the rest of the group, along with Constantine and Errol. Yeah, is there anything you wish to do, Constantine, to make this journey a little easier, a little quicker?
Yes, but I'm going to be a dick about it, so I'm literally just peering over Tor's, because Severn's got my copy of the map, and Tor's got his, so I'm literally just really annoying, like, just leaning over his shoulder, just be like, so we're taking a left up ahead, yes?
Yes, we are, Constantine.
Okay, you sure you've got your map orientated right? You don't want to turn it 45 degrees to the left?
If you turn it 45 degrees to the left, then we'd be walking backwards.
Are you sure about that?
That is where we came from. I'm fairly sure. I'm fairly certain, yes.
Fairly certain. Oh, so you're not 100% certain. That's unusual for somebody of your calling. But if you insist, yes.
Was unaware there were some backseat drivers in these tunnels.
Just making sure we get where we need to.
So, you round a corner and the smell of stale old tobacco briefly washes over your noses, and up ahead you would see Severin and Finley stood at a junction. Granted, probably added another 20 or so minutes onto the journey, but at least you're back together. Any comments from Severin or Finley as the group return?
Finley, you just hear Finley is mumbling under his breath about needing to get a new cigar whenever he gets the chance.
Well, let's hope none of the other pipes in here give, especially if they're carrying that foul stuff.
I would say it would most likely be at this point where, looking back down the corridor to where the pipe burst, it does seem to be not just steam. There is the metallic tang of blood in the air, and whatever gushed out of that pipe perhaps links into the reservoir further down.
Wonderful.
You two should look yourselves over while you can. Make sure none of that stuff got on you.
I think we were quite well spaced out. I didn't.
Yeah, I think we should be fine. As Finley's like looking himself over.
Did you get any on your toe? You're wearing red. You could hide it well. You heretic.
The blessing of the Omnicide will protect.
I'm sure. Okay, Severin, lead on.
Yes, anything to get the thought of Tor with a mechanodrite and a tentacle both swinging about doing things out of my mind. And Severin's gonna lead on.
Go on, Severin.
Severin's gonna lead on.
Okay. Into the maintenance tunnels once again, 5th level. Maintenance tunnels, 6th level. Maintenance tunnels, Severin.
Yes.
Something happens.
It's the home stretch.
Close.
Would you say like
I would
really
say
close?
Really, yeah. I would say you're almost
Okay.
at the 7th level where.
Okay. I got something.
All right, go for it.
Okay. So as we're heading up, Severin has his auspex and his pistol, and he's kind of like, it's like anyone who's ever seen Alien, like looking at the thing and it just like ticks, and he's looking for movement, and something starts to come up, and up ahead, just barely. It's just, these tunnels are fairly tight, and there's the image of someone looming, like they're trying to stay hidden, but they're inadequate at the task because it's this little hunchbacked figure with like obviously mutated, wearing a robe, who has like one really large club foot and then one really, like, basically on the opposite side, the opposite arm is also just like a really overdeveloped, and so he's lopsided, moving about, so he's trying to hide, and his leg is sticking out from behind the pipe because he just can't, he's just absurdly bad at being able to hide things. And you can also see just the same side of his leg, his eye is also just like that side of his head is big
Bulbous.
and bulging around the pipe, almost like he's like trying to periscope around this thing. And above there's a little bit of a drip of the fluid, so it's clearly been dripping on him, and maybe you can see also that there's a little like tin cup that is nearby, so it looks like he might have been slurping the stuff down, just accelerating his rate of just
Mutation. Yeah.
devolving into just an obscene mess. Like, so he's basically like an even worse off Quasimodo. And he's clutching this wheel on the side of the tunnel. So Severin, seeing that there's this guy up ahead, is going to go around
Mm-hmm.
and try to just wait here a moment. And he's going to sweep around and try to get up behind him, where it becomes obvious that he has a big like a valve
Yeah.
which controls an overhead shower from one of the pipes. Like he's like trying to hold the gate, like because it's so close. He thinks, and he can't get around very quickly because he's loping along.
I hear something. I hear them coming.
And yeah, so he's there, closer, and
Come closer. You'll be mine soon.
and as he's doing this, a las pistol is pressing it to his temple. There's a sharp intake of air, and then
Roll me a quick stealth check, if you'll be
Okay.
so kind.
Okay.
I'm going to be challenging. In fact,
Yep.
let's go for move silently, because this to me, rather than it being straight stealth, this is you just trying to.
Okay.
So a challenging stealth move silently roll, please.
Okay.
With his hands on this valve wheel, he turns it ever so slightly to the left, right.
Come closer.
And that's where you step round the corner. Hotshot las pistol in hand and just put it to the side of his head. What do you do?
He's going to pull the trigger, which has the effect of essentially like burning away the mutated side of his face and just melting into his skull. And it's all just bubbling mutated mess, like a not stop motion, but like a time lapse video of a candle burning down, just sideways.
Until nothing's left but what's basically a hot pot bubbling on an open stove.
Pretty much. Yes.
So yeah, you would hear for a brief moment, everyone else, just this brief cackle that echoes down the corridors before a thump. The sound of a body hitting the dirt.
And then just a moment later. All right, it's clear now. And Severin's going to make sure that the pipe is, like the valve is entirely, nothing's leaking from above, except for this little drip down the side, and
Into this metal tin.
just wait for everything to come out. Yeah.
The rest of you make your way, see this mutant on the ground, gaping, bubbling hole in the side of its head, wearing the familiar-looking robes by now, that of a member of the priesthood. But with the crisis averted, now only leaves the last maintenance tunnel before reaching the lower levels, level 7 of the Ossuary of Martyred Rest. With the group now stepping into this incredibly old, somewhere that's not been maintained in perhaps centuries at this point, the air itself is stale, old. There is a constant hum, though, especially through the maintenance ducts of activity, of the pipeworks ferrying something. But apart from that, it's mostly silence, still. Only the dead live here. Making your way through the level, you'll begin to head towards the location of this cavernous area on the map where the reservoir of blood and perhaps the pumping station was designated by the Lex Mechanic. On your approach to the reservoir, does anyone do anything? Or anything anyone wishes to state out loud? Or are you just going to go straight in?
I'll just make sure everybody's being cautious. What's the light like down here?
The light is pretty dull, pretty dark. There are a few lights that illuminate the tomb, but again, they flicker, sputter in and out of existence. A few red lights that, almost like emergency lights, would be the main source of illumination down here, with these overhead yellow lights that occasionally kick in and flicker into life.
So there is some illumination.
Yeah. Yeah. With that said, if no one's got any other prep work they want, you begin to make your way towards the reservoir access. Here it seems to be a door that separates off from a small maintenance area on the 7th level onto a long corridor, and at the end of the corridor lies a heavily sealed door. 2 red lights pulse with a cogitator just off to the side that is also active. It seems that this area has been used relatively recently. There is what dust is on the floor has been kicked up, swept away by boots or by robes. And it is, compared to the rest of the level and the rest of the ossuary, it's illuminated.
But we don't see anybody here at the moment.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I think we're in the right place.
Good. I want this at the very least disabled, so no more blood on the statues. And at the worst, at the best, I'd like it destroyed if we can. What demolitions do you have, Finn?
I mean, I could destroy it. I've got 2 more crack grenades left. I can wedge them in there and we can set them off.
Okay, liaise with Tor. See where the best place would be to employ them, and we'll disable this heresy.
Tor is going to kind of dig through the records of how destructive a crack grenade can be. And then he's going to start looking at the statue and...
Oh no, you're not in the room yet. You're at the door.
Yeah, we're...
Oh, sorry.
You're at the door to the reservoir.
He's going to analyze the door and see where the weakest spots are.
For the door to blow open the door, or to open what? At the minute, you're just outside of the reservoir at what appears to be a door with it. You don't. Yeah,
we don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to blow the door. We just on the other side. We know there's a reservoir. Can you get the doors open at least?
I can try that.
Yeah, roll. Could you come be a door for us?
El just walks forward, slab shield in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Door.
Very good.
Tor is going to link up with the door controls and see if he can get the doors open.
Roll me a very easy security check, please, Tor. So, you begin to access the cogitator by the door, and run through various parameters, see that it's been opened very recently, perhaps within the last few hours. The door at this moment in time is unlocked. You could just throw the doors wide open.
Before he does, he's going to turn back to Constantine and the others and mention this has been used very recently, within the last few hours, so we may not be alone down here on the other side.
Thus the secondary door. And he takes strategic position behind Errol.
Okay?
He's going to open the door.
With a loud hydraulic hiss, the door begins to open. On the other side of that door, bring us into this for a second.
Oh, no.
This is fine.
As the door begins to open up, right in front of you is a group of 5 or 6 of the robed pilgrims who are currently in the process of dragging a few bodies towards the far end of the room, where the cavern opens up into this vast underground cave. Just off the far end is a dark red hued bubbling liquid. That's the reservoir used to perhaps paint, or the liquid used for the statues. In front of that is a plasteel platform. A couple of pipes poke out of it that dip into this giant blood lake ahead. The sheer amount of dead priests here is staggering, and the smell that would overcome and hit your senses is not pleasant. Not pleasant for anyone, but this is a situation that maybe you haven't seen before, but you're familiar with it, so you suck it in. What does get your attention, though, is not just this small group of cultists in front of you, or a couple of cultists dotted around towards the corpse piles. There's a couple of servitors, 2 of them with claws, one moving bodies around, another one with a chainsaw for a hand that's carving bodies up. Another one stood off to the side, and last but not least, a man in a red robe stood on top of the platform, and directly in front of him is a servitor with a heavy bolter that starts to point in your direction. What do you do?
Finley isn't even going to fuck around with the servitor with the heavy bolter, and he's going to just shoot the damn thing.
Same for Constantine. Constantine's gonna lock his pistol into his fucking metallic arm and just blat it right in the fucking forehead.
Let's bring it into this then, shall we?
Oh boy.
At that, with you drawing your weapons, this servitor has already been pointing at the door. It lets off a few rounds that seem to just spark off, hitting all of the priests who are dragging these bodies. Immediately they just begin to burst and erupt as these heavy bolt shells impact into them and wipe them from existence. Completely surprised, caught unaware, but Tor, you roll me a tech, quick tech roll.
Difficulty?
Easy. You know that most servitors, if they've been given an order, will react immediately, and the reaction or the order probably given to it was, if that door opens, shoot anything that moves. Which is why those ahead of you have just been carved up by this heavy bolter.
Okay.
But with that though, if you could roll me initiative.
Seems like the time for it.
That it does. I will say, though, that minus the gun servitor with the heavy bolter, you take the rest of them by surprise. So no one else will act this round, apart from the gun servitor, when it gets to its turn. Straight off the bat, Severin, seeing this scene, this roar of a heavy bolter in the distance, then tearing up the priests and pilgrims in front of you, what do you do?
Well, the very first thing. So we can move anywhere inside the same, and then into the next zone. Correct? That's our movement.
Your free movement anywhere in the grid. You then get a move action move into another grid, and then you get your normal action, which could be another move or an attack.
Okay, so before I move, I guess I should ask this. We're looking at all these rocks.
Yep.
This right here, is this actually elevated up enough that it's...
Does seem to be. So at this moment in time, this is elevated. That could perhaps provide cover. You could dip into this alcove here. That could be providing cover. As could perhaps this alcove here.
Okay, so first thing, the way that the weapons that I have work is it has the maglock holster. So the way it was described is basically gives me quick draw on those pistols.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first thing is he's going to try to hazard shots at the servitor.
All right.
Which is basically just basically with each just a free shot at the start of the combat.
So at the minute, that would be medium range into this grid, long range to there, so it would be extreme range to hit the servitor from where you are.
I'm just going to move them to start. He's already on the side, so he's going to try to get up in here.
Yep. So from there, that would be medium range, long range, still with it being an elevated position, quite a way off.
So thinking that he has some kind of cover here against this, he's actually going to realize that that's just, he's not going to be able to hit that. Instead, he's going to try to pop shots at this one.
Absolutely.
That is down here.
This servitor down at the bottom is currently in the process of picking up corpses and moving them to the far end where the one with the chainsaw for a hand is carving them up.
Wait. Am I not doing this? I could have sworn I just clicked on...
T to target, and then...
It's in combat. That's right. That's why.
Combat tab. Yeah.
Normal. It's at long range, I think, for a pistol. Because it's 2 zones away.
Absolutely.
So does that make this like a difficult
It would.
shot? Or...
It would, yes. It would make it... you'll be at disadvantage.
Okay. Disadvantage. And... normal. Goes wide.
It does. It does, sadly. The shot zips by.
But I tried.
It was worth a crack.
So yeah, he's just hunkered down there and trying to not take a bolter round.
All right. Finley, you're up.
Finley's just gonna move up next to Earl and ask Earl to steady his shield for him. And with Willbreaker using the Omniscope, I'm gonna scope in onto the heavy bolter servitor and take a pot shot to see if I can't hit the thing.
Check your superiority as well. Not that it would have helped you on that one, Severin, but you currently have 1 superiority, just down to the fact that you know cultists are squishy. But this was seen unbeknownst to anyone, because someone forgot to mention the service. Oh my god. That's a good one. What's it going to do? It's combat. In fact, can't do anything. It's servitor. It's hit straight. 10 damage. It's a good solid hit with the las carbine. Actually, what's your range? Long. With aim. Ooh. It's a disadvantage because that's extreme range there.
Even with the Omniscope?
That's included. Because normally a carbine's medium range, Omniscope pushes it to long.
Okay.
So roll me another, just another attack. Because that's still extreme range, so it's unless you want to try and move up to long range, which would be. So what's that?
I can move up to the next grid over.
Still just out, sadly. Yeah, it's still. That'd still be extreme range.
I'm still gonna move up, so
Yeah.
it's about here.
Go for it.
And I'll still take that shot.
Yeah. Yeah, just roll me another attack. I'll see which. So that we'll do the +3 instead. So it's 8 damage, so it gains 2 hit points back. Okay, there we go. Cool. So, it's still... Oh, I've done it the wrong way with that. It's still a solid shot, but due to the range, you hit part of the metal armored chest, and the shot fizzles briefly, but doesn't seem to crack any of its core components that make it run. Tor, over to you.
Tor is kind of torn between staying put and testing a theory
Okay.
and moving forward.
Okay.
First, he's going to basically address the group. The master of that servitor may have given it improper orders. It might prioritize movement over any actual threat. And he's going to stay still
Okay.
to test this theory.
Okay. Any actions at all?
Nothing.
Do you want to hold an action?
Yeah, he'll hold an action.
What would you like to hold?
Well, I guess too far away from anything, actually. So no, I wouldn't even need to hold an action at the moment.
Okay. In that case then, Constantine, over to you.
Constantine, well, right now, Silent Vigil.
Excuse you.
God bless you.
Sorry.
It's all good.
And it has like a little hook nodule that interfaces with his augmetic arm, and he clips it in to steady himself, takes aim, and shoots at the at the servitor. He's going to try and blow its fucking brain pan out the bat because servitors don't work when the brain isn't there.
Absolutely. And your Silent Vigil, what range does it go up to?
Extreme.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You did this.
I mean, I didn't. Damn it. So,
You allowed this.
You allowed this, yeah. You were like, yeah, let's do it for memes. And I was like, yeah.
So
memes it is.
basically, just describe what Silent Vigil is again. There are some drawbacks to it, of course.
Silent Vigil is a massive silenced hand cannon that has a scope and a laser sight. It's a custom piece, and it kind of looks kind of obscene, but it also has like a hooked bipod that attaches directly with Constantine's augmetic for a braced shot.
It does mean you can't move.
It does mean I can't move, but it does mean I can do an aim shot.
It does. All right. Go for it. So you're going to try and put an aim. You're going for an actual aim shot at its head, are you?
Yeah.
All right.
What's
Send it.
What's the SL for this?
It's just normal challenging.
Okay.
But it's just with it being an aim shot. If you choose aim shot from the combat, that'll apply all of the modifiers. So roll it.
Hit location. Roll. Head.
Mm-hmm. That's what you're going for.
Do I get a +1 to SL for using my hooked bipod? I don't know how that works. Or is it just because I can use the aim action?
Yeah, you can use the aim action, and that cancels it out. But you also get the 1 SL from superiority.
So 1 SL, yeah.
Correct. Okay.
Bang! Actually, no, it's actually quiet.
It is.
Pop.
Pop. What happens to it? As one of the bolt shells begins to load into the arm.
Constantine just goes, "Stupid robot," and just lines up his laser, just painting its forehead, and with a silent cough from Vigil, an enormous kick. There's a flash, and the servitor's head just, well, the only thing that's left is like the augmatic part that was its augmatic eye and part of its head that's just kind of flapping down by its chest, and the rest of his augmatic, like the organic part of his head, is gone. Just gone.
Excellent. So, as that happens, this man in the red robe next to the servitor just screams, "No! No! No!" You've got no more actions, no more movement, so with that, Errol.
Okie dokie.
What are you up to?
Errol's standing there looking pretty. Right. So he's gonna amble forwards.
Yeah.
And he's gonna use his move to keep ambling forwards.
Yeah.
Up to this fella here.
Oh, sorry, that one should be dead, mate.
Oh, he should be dead.
He should be dead. Yeah, I forgot to add it because he was one that the bolt gun
Cool.
carved down. So these ones are in your immediate vicinity. Should be
Dead.
be dead.
They're all dead.
Yeah, apologies about that.
No, that's fine. It hasn't changed what I was going to do anyway. I'm just going to fill this gap
Yep.
with a wall of Ogren. And take the defense.
Okay.
Ujimi do that.
Yeah. Action.
Yeah. That's the boy.
All right. What does it look like? Do you plant your shield down, or?
Absolutely. With a thump, it goes into the floor. The Ripper clips into its slot, and I just stand there like a Borg.
Nice. So I forgot to add in the old cultist, or pilgrims at least, into the initiative, but doesn't matter because they don't get to act this turn anyway. So with that then, end of the turn, the gun servitor would have opened fire with the bolt gun if it wasn't for the fact that Finley and Constantine have just put it down. Granted, though, there is still 3 other servitors. One of them, at the far end, you see now making its way out, has a claw for moving things along with a heavy stubber. But this servitor already appears either old or unused, so not in the greatest of shape. With that said then, brings us down to end of the turn, because they are currently surprised. Severin, you're up. Severin.
Yeah, so he's 2 zones away, so that makes this medium range, correct?
Into this zone it's medium into the next zone. Long.
Okay.
So basically, short range is your zone, anywhere in your zone. Medium's 1 zone over. Long, 2 zones over. And extreme is anything after that.
Okay, so Severin, seeing that this bolt servitor has been shredded, is the guy in the robe carrying a gun? Obviously, like, does he have a pistol in hand, or?
No, he seems to have just some form of either mace or a religious stick. Is probably the best way to put it.
Wow, sucks to be him. Severin's gonna just like dash. Actually, wait, you can't do that, right? No, you can. To here and then around.
Yeah, absolutely,
Like,
you can.
He's gonna go behind Errol, and then he's gonna run across to here, because the movement in this game doesn't work the same as.
We're so used to D&D. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I'm just so used to D&D that I'm like, I'm just gonna do this. Like, oh, it doesn't work that way. Oh, no.
But no, I get it. I completely get it.
Yeah. And we're running it back. Normal.
Solid hit.
Okay.
And unopposed.
10-2.
Fucking ouch.
Naughty.
Ouch. What happens to it?
Well, the servitor is lugging bodies, and it just, like, its sensors pick something up, and as it stands, like, up and starts to turn, a bolt just punches through its torso, like, and hits the motor or the power source inside, and it just sparks, bursts. There's a bunch of sparking. It jerks around, and then it just slowly slumps to the ground. Well, the legs are still upright, but its entire upper body is just like slumped over, like it's just shut off.
Amazing.
And this guy here,
he's just in the process of dropping a body to the ground as he's reaching into his robe to pull a pistol.
yeah, doesn't matter.
Just whizzes through.
Just blast past him, hitting the platform in the back. And that's it.
From this distance, though, you would see that there is some ominous-looking crackles, a slight shimmer in the air above this platform. You were expecting an effigy to be here, according to the data from the Lex Mechanicus. But alas, no sign of it. Finley, what are you up to?
Finley is going to bolt up next to Severin. Seeing he put down the one servitor, say, good job, but I see you missed the other one. Let me show you how it's done. And I'm going to target the gentleman in the red robe.
Okay.
And give him a good old shot.
Yep. He's going to try and dodge this. Don't fuck up now. Yeah. He ducks behind the body of the servitor as the shot just misses him by millimeters.
I'll decline those lessons.
Stop moving around so much. Would have been a perfectly fine shot.
Love it. So that's move, action. Sorry, Finley. Tor.
Seeing that the servitor with the heavy bolter is down, he's gonna come up and join Errol up here.
Okay.
Can you dash in this game?
You can. You can use your action to dash if you wish.
Okay.
Actually, dash would give me another grid, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
I'm gonna dash into the next grid then.
Okay. Which one are you going to? Top or bottom? Not that it really makes
bottom.
much difference, unless, you know. Bottom one. Okay.
Yeah, bottom one. He's gonna come
Cool.
all the way up here so he can defend against this
Excellent.
right here.
All right. With that then, move. Constantine, up to you.
Can I see this servitor down here
Um,
from where I'm at, or is there too much in my way? Is that rock in the way? Like, because there's a bit of a curve there.
I would say that's a pretty straight shot.
Yeah.
I'll give it you a disadvantage because you've got, again, like the rocks in the middle. You've also got rocks in front of it. You've also got Finley in the way.
In that case, I'll shoot the guy in the red robe and be like, as always, Finley, finishing a job that you started.
You just see a middle finger shoot up from Finley. Like, going from looking behind him, just giving him the middle finger.
Jesus, that was terrible.
Yeah. As he's hunkering down behind the servitor, this other shot just whizzes over him.
You'll hear over the Voxcom. Nice shot from the peanut gallery.
He was hiding behind the servitor. Not my fault. He'd have been out in the open if he didn't miss him the first time.
Errol.
Mm-hmm.
Over to you.
Well, big man's gonna lumber.
Okay.
Can move down slightly. And then I'm gonna move in front of all these fucking people.
Yeah.
So for me to hit anything, that would be long range, correct?
What's Boom Boom's medium range? So yeah, medium into the next grid, and then if you're going for
Yep.
long, it'd be at disadvantage.
Righty dokes. In that case, I will take the defensive action again.
Okay. So just to brush up everyone in regards to a defend action. As an action, you choose an ally to in immediate range or your current zone. If you choose an ally, you become the target of attacks targeting them, and you may oppose melee attacks. If you choose a zone, anyone that attempts to enter the zone must use an action to defeat you in an opposed might check. So basically, no one can enter your zone because your might.
And I've got a talent for that as well. I think. Bulwark, is it?
Bulwark. You are proficient in using a shield to deflect danger from multiple sources. When using a shield and taking the defend action, you may choose to defend an additional ally that is within immediate range, or choose to defend both an ally within immediate range and the zone you currently occupy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Which is why I got to the front.
All right. So, with that then, no one's entering your fucking thing, or are they? Let's find out. Some of the various pilgrims now who have got into understanding of the situation that they are currently being attacked, and with no other way out apart from this cavern full of warp-tainted blood, you're in front of the only exit. So, this enraged pilgrim in front of you is first going to try and get into your zone, Errol.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So it's a might check versus might check.
A might check, you see.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm going to roll in this, but a might is athletics.
Just not normal challenging.
Yep, it's just a straight... Oh man, they
I
failed.
don't know, bro.
Maybe just quick refresh of that there, Foundry.
Yeah. First roll and nothing happened. Me 2 secs.
Yeah, I've just had to refresh. Oh, it did roll, mate. It did roll.
I win.
Yeah, you do by a lot. Okay, so this is the issue at the minute. With I need to update Foundry because this bug's been fixed, but because I've added in all of the extra stuff from the Imperial Inquisition stuff, I'm loath to do the update right now. But with a +4, I'm gonna get rid of some of these rolls. I thought I'll leave it. There's a lot. With a +4, that stops him from getting in. So immediately as he comes in towards you, Errol, with the shield, just batters away. The next one's going to do the same again. Rather than target him, we'll just don't target. Just roll me a might check, please.
I wasn't targeting him.
Might have been because I was targeting them actually. Yeah. All right.
So it's just a might check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that it matters. As another pilgrim tries to come in there, met with the shield. The others at the back here, that one's going to move into that grid. And dash to get in there. And the one at the back is going to move in with the pistol drawn and is going to try and shoot Tor, but what happens?
Well, the shield gets in its way, doesn't it?
It does. God damn it. So you become the target of the attack. Stub handgun rings out across the chamber and just ping bounces off the heavy slab shield. And even if it hit, doesn't matter. It wouldn't have hurt. I think that's all of the remaining pilgrims who are alive, which then goes now to the red-robed cultist. Oh boy, you're going to wish you killed him earlier. He is going to step down off into... No, he isn't. He's going to stay where he is.
No, I step down?
No.
No, step down.
Yeah, come on down. It'll be all right.
Bugger. Okay. He is gonna step down, yeah. Joining
Does he have to be in the same zone for their abilities?
You may have cottoned onto my plan. I didn't want him out of that warp zone. But yes, so he is going to dash, actually, as he jumps off of the plasteel pumping station into the bodies arrayed before him and begins to set off at a sprint past the group in the direction of the door. Servitor, that's first servitor is out of commission. That one's gone. Let's put some better music on. There we go. Which brings us to the gun servitor at the back. So, lumbering forward, it's going to step to there, and with Errol up front, you see a heavy stubber point in your direction, Errol. And it's at that moment it starts to spit lead in your direction. Ping, 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 ping.
The slab shield takes it.
All right. You would feel the force, though, as a couple of rounds just begin to impact into the shield, but absolutely care not. Last but not least, the other servitor at the back is going to move, but it is slow. So basically all it does is it slowly turns up from carving bodies, it just begins to lumber its way towards you all. Which brings around to you, Severin.
Well, seeing this red-robed guy run past, Constantine's there, in the way, and Severin has all the faith in his ability, but he's gonna try to just lay one pistol across the stones here and just try to pop this guy in the back as he's running.
Okay.
So there, SL1 because of the superiority, and
can't do that as a reaction, son of a bitch. Should have read it. He'll dodge. He'll try and scarper out of the way of this shot. And oh no.
You hate
it's a crippling shot. Not enough to kill him outright, but as the whisper bolt just passes into him, blood's coughed up from his mouth as he starts to try and scrape along on the floor. Anything else from you, Severin?
well, I can't leave myself to let me show you how it's done or finishing the job quit. So he's going to use his other pistol to try to finish off the wounded, crawling cultist.
He can't dodge, so it's an unopposed roll.
Critical.
Just
It is a crit. What happens?
well, the first bolt punches through him, and he drops to a knee and starts trying to continue his way forward, trying to just get out of here or do whatever his warp-addled mind was thinking of. And the second bolt hits him, and his entire body bursts into flames as a spontaneous reaction to the last bolt. Just, woof,
All right.
and he just collapses and is smoldering.
Good shots. Good shots. Thantos80, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome in. So yeah, with the cultist dropping to the ground, his robes immolating due to the superheated las round. Any movement from you, Severin?
No, I'm very cozy in my little nook there.
All right. Finley, you're up.
Finley's gonna look back at the cultist that is dead and just well, good shots there. At least you got it. And he's gonna look at him and say, "But you can't do this." And he's gonna
Why
out
do
a
you jinx
firebomb.
yourself?
I just do. I'm gonna pull out a firebomb.
Yep.
And I'm gonna throw that over Earl into the where the other three cultists are, and throw a firebomb in there.
Target the one you want to hit, the furthest one, and send it.
It's gonna bounce off Errol's back. I can see it happening.
In fact, it's the area you're targeting there, I believe.
I believe so.
So, actually, rather than that, if you untarget the pilgrim, does it give you the option to choose an area?
I do not see that.
No. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I can do that, actually. So that would be the middle bodies area. Boom. Submit. With you... what's it look like as you turn this area into an inferno for 3
basically
rounds?
the firebomb hits the ground and just spreads napalm and gas and everything, and the moment that happens, it instantly lights a fire, catching the cultists and the bodies. Anything that's flammable in there is just now ablaze.
Nice. So what this does, anything in that zone, when it starts its turn, takes 1d5 fire damage. Let's throw in a little bit of a reminder, shall we, quick. Generic. Fire. Flame. If we're going to do it, we may as well do it properly, eh?
Fire!
Fire! And any movement from you?
Nope, I am happy and content where I'm at. We've got a big ogre in front of us blocking things, so not wanting to go by that.
Excellent. Okay, we don't need the ablaze effect on the dead servitor. So, Tor, you're up.
Seeing that the area in front of him is just burst into flame, Thor is going to pretty much guard Errol's left-hand side.
Okay.
So he's going to ready in action to basically swipe at anyone that tries to escape the fire. He's going to come down with his chain axe.
Okay. So, holding an action. Any movement?
No.
All right.
He's gonna stay right here on Errol's left.
In that case, then, Constantine, you're up.
I'm gonna move and dash
All right. Okay.
into the same grid everybody else is in.
Yeah.
And I believe that's it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
With that, then, big boy,
Mm-hmm.
your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna be a right dick. I'm gonna take the defensive action.
No, you stay in your fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
wasting ammo.
All right. Yeah, defense. So they. That's a dick. I love it. In that case, then, the pilgrims who are on fire. Finley, can you roll me /r space 1d5 3 times, please? In fact, can do. Yeah. We'll do it separately. So first one. That's the point. It's better than the poke in the eye. 4, yeah. The guy in the center of the fire. And 2. A cacophony of screams.
I mean, I was just saying, he's the one that took the firebomb straight to the head when it exploded.
His robes are just completely ablaze. He's at the back, just oh god, save me! Someone save me! The woman to his right, who got splashed with a little bit of the Promethean, is like, help by the Emperor, please, no! She starts trying to strip the burning robe off, which ends up just spreading the burning Promethean even more. And in this fit of panic, they are all going to try and push into the zone you guys are in. So, Errol,
Yes, mate.
can I have 3 might checks, please?
Oh, you can.
First one. Oh, she gets in. So before we do any more,
Straight into a chainsword. Okay.
yeah. Tor, your held action as this burning woman stripping off part of her robe to get away from the Promethean. What do you do?
I'm gonna bury my chain axe in her.
Go for it. I mean, you've got both your chain axe and your chain sword. Should one fail?
Dude. Just a regular challenging.
Yeah, don't target them from LA. That's kind of what's one of the bugs at the minute. So
Don't target from.
don't target from LA. Yeah. So roll it. I'll do the quick maths for the damage in the head. She is gonna try and avoid this. Oh dear. So what's the damage of the chain sword? Oh, sorry, chain axe.
Let's pull it up real quick. Chain axe is
Damage
3 plus strength.
3%. So that if you go into your combat tab, you'll see it says damage 5. What's the difference in SLs there? 10. 10 plus 5. It's 15 damage. What happens to this cultist?
Or is going to cut her in half from, let's see, her left shoulder. It's just down straight through and out her pelvis.
Just bisected. Just her legs fall. The other top part flops off to the side. All right, let's find out whether the next one can get in. Can I have a might check, please? Errol.
You may. Oh my god.
It's all right. Equal out. I'll say you keep her out. This guy who was burning at least is even more now stuck in the fire. With it being the -0 on both fronts. None of you pass. Last but not least, a last one, please, sir. For the last guy at the bottom trying to sneak his way in. Yeah, he's not getting in. So they're both just at the moment writhing around in the flames. Which brings us to the guy at the back, who, seeing the way he's cut off as the fire starts to spread across the corpses, will try and put a oh man, why do I even bother?
Yeah, shoot Errol.
He's gonna just put a stub gun around towards Errol. And
Ping.
miss. Ping indeed. Excellent. Which brings us then to that cultist is no longer in the fight. He is dead as doorknob. Gun servitor. He, on the other hand, is gonna fuck it. I'm gonna do some bullshittery. As the first few shots impact against the shield, there's a brief pause before you see several of the rounds just start to get loaded in, and he's gonna burst fire at you, Errol. Just never mind. just you begin to feel
Great.
the shield just rocking even more as this time multiple rounds just start blatting, and the sound rings around the chamber as these slugs just begin to impact against the slab shield ineffectually at that. Other servitor doesn't have a brain. It's going to move into the zone.
Into the fire.
into the fire. Yeah, slumbering forward, just and steps into the fire. You hear for a brief moment the but one track mind. Severin.
Well, let's see. He's going to just kind of like creep up just a touch to see if he can basically spot these servitors.
Yeah, you will be able to if you're peering over.
Being that this one's the closest one, and he's got pistols, not a rifle, he's going to try to just pew, pew.
Yeah.
Yes, first one. +1. Yeah.
Unopposed.
Pretty good shot there.
It's not bad. It's
Pen 2.
yeah. It's a good one.
And you know what time it is.
It's
Well, I only get the SL to one of the rolls, not this
correct. Yes.
one. Okay. And
It's all good. The second one, probably trying to shoot through fire, makes it a little difficult.
yes. I tried.
But I mean, the first shot was what, left arm. I will say you. Yeah, why not?
I'm pretty happy with the damage from the first one. You know?
Yeah. Punctures into its left arm. You begin to see sparks shoot out from the chainsaw arm as it begins to malfunction. It can still use it as a blunt instrument, perhaps. All right. Finley, you're up.
Alright, I am gonna just move up kind of by Earl and them, and I'm going to shoot the servitor that's got the heavy stubber and give him a few blaps.
All right. Send it. Oh my god. Is it enough damage? Let's find out. It is! Finley, what do you do?
As the bolt goes, or the last shot goes out, it blows out the right leg of the servitor, and as it's collapsing, it's still trying to shoot the heavy stubber, and the heavy stubber like gets pushed up on its arm, and the final shot just shoots it in the head, blowing it clean off, as it just like then sputters onto the ground and stops shooting.
Good shit. So, with that servitor also now out of action. Any movement?
No.
Okay, okay.
No.
Tor, over to you.
Honestly, I think he's going to stay put. He needs to make sure that Earl's left side is defended. So he's going to ready his action again. Just rev his his chain axe.
Yeah. Something's really chomping my CPU at the minute. Oh,
Is it the fire?
could be. I mean, in fact, it's not even. It's not. It's just Edge being shit. Because my DM screen's absolutely fine. It's just this. the stream view is just like, oh, Microsoft Edge, please. So what I may do actually is incognito. Hold, folks, for a second. Wait.
That's a pretty wallpaper.
It is.
I may or may not have the same one.
Me too.
Fancy that. Okay. There we go. That's better. I'll just throw it up in incognito. Chrome, instead of having both Chrome and Edge. And it's smooth as butter. Fancy that. Alright. Boom. Done. We're back in. Sorry about that, everyone. So, Tor, you are holding an action in case anything steps in, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Constantine.
I'm once again going to click in my pistol into my automatic and try and blow out the brain pan of yet another servitor.
Yep. Send it. It's enough. It's a good one. 9 damage. What happens to it?
I hit it kind of in the throat and severed its spinal column as well as most of its neck. Like its head's kind of fucking flopping backwards and forwards as it falls over dead into the fire, and it's just sizzling and crackling away.
Any movement? You can't because you shot.
Because
So
I shot.
yeah. Errol.
Yes. Well, I am going to clip my ripper in, yank the charging handle,
Clunk.
Put these two flaming fellas out of their misery.
Send it.
Do that.
Superiority 1, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Boom, boom. Rapid fire. Superiority 1.
They are going to dodge, though, or try.
Yeah.
Because
They don't need to. I failed.
if they fail worse than you... Yeah, so if they got a -3, for example, they would dodge into it. But with them writhing around on the floor, your shield and the fire, you just can't seem to get the angle right, and you end up just shooting over the top of them. But what I will do, because that's a Ripper gun and it's fucking scary. He ducks to the ground. No, not fatigue. To try and avoid the fire. A, it's stop, drop, and roll. B, because Ripper. The other one will see if they do the same. Is he going to stop, drop, and roll? And again, it was a burst fire. Is that a failure? Yeah, it's -4. He's going to do the same as well. Alright, there you go. So yeah, a Ripper gun at that close range, rapid fire against pilgrims. They're petrified.
In fire.
In fire. I mean, they're trying to roll out of it.
Looking down the muzzle like a Coke can.
Yeah. All right. Any movement, or are you happy where you are?
I'm
Tickety-boo.
it's what I am. Yeah.
Thought it might be. Right, Pilgrim, start of the turn. Turn 2 in the fire. Finley, roll me a d5 for each of them. Oh my god, first guy takes 3. Other one takes 2. Okay. The guy who took the firebomb to the face is now gurgling away. The vast majority of his flesh on his face, his arms, his chest is just blackened and charred as the Prometheum eats away. The other guy's faring better-ish. He's going to stand up and basically just, for his entire action, skitter across the ground and just move into there. Let me just double check I did that right. I think prone may actually be worse than that. I've got a sneak suspicion prone. All you can do is just stand up.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
So in that case, we'll drag him back to there. We'll just say he stands up and skitters slightly across. Obviously trying to get away from you all. Other guy, he's fucking ruined. He's going to stay there. Which brings us to the chap at the back with the gun servitor. He's trapped for all intents and purposes, because by now that fire, round 2, will start spreading even more. There is no escape. So he's going to move and start making his way towards the reservoir of blood. Servitors. That one's dead. That one's dead. There's no servitors remaining. I think that's pretty much going to be the end. They've lost their pretty much will to fight. There was only one entrance. The other guy's got so desperate that he's just now hoping there is some form of escape in this giant blood reservoir. Yeah. Narrate to me how this all ends.
I would say the one that's took the firebomb to the face, he's just gonna kind of curl up in the fire and just roast while the fire dies down, just burn himself to death.
The guy in the back, completely beyond any hope of being able to get out of here through us, is going to try to swim to find escape. His robe's becoming
slick
full of
and
blood.
Full, yeah.
He's panicked and he just sinks into the lake of blood and drowns in it.
Delightful.
There's a bit of a splashing as his arms start thrashing over the surface of this thick, viscous blood pit, and slowly you just see the hands start to slow down before he just slips beneath the surface. There's a couple of bubbles that just slowly burst above his last known position, but then nothing. Back to the stillness, and yeah, with that the fire at this point would also begin to die down.
Errol just nudges the last living one with his foot just to see if he's still breathing.
No. I don't, well, you tell me, is he?
Yeah. It takes a crackling breath and starts coughing. So he stamps on his head.
Like a melon being popped under a pneumatic press, his head just disappears, leaving...
It was a humane thing to do.
Yeah. Leaves you all now in the chamber. And to be honest with you, I could probably bring us to this, back to this now.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, Finley. What were you up to?
Finley's gonna make his way over to the servitor that's on top of the where the drain pipe is, and start trying to pull it off of there, seeing if there's a way to unhook the heavy bolter and the backpack, and seeing if there's a way to give that to Earl.
As you step up to this raised pedestal, this pump, something starts to gnaw the corners of your mind. I need you to make me a discipline check. Actually, no. No, I don't. Let me double check what I need you to do. Because... this is... yeah, I need you to make me a fortitude, basically a routine fortitude test, please. All right. For a brief
question in regards to this.
Yep. Go on.
Is this related to corruption?
It is indeed related to corruption.
You can add +4 to that. Ignorance is my shield.
Whatever whispers or clawing was perhaps at the edge of your psyche wasn't there. Perhaps just a figment of your imagination. Perhaps just the wind Why there would be wind down this far underground, who knows? But you care not. You head over to the servitor, and yeah, you can try and rip this heavy bolter off it.
Yeah, get the heavy bolter and its backpack of ammo. See if we can't get a new toy for Earl.
So, as you look at this heavy bolter, this is a piece of kit that has basically been welded onto the servitor. It's ingrained into the body of the servitor, various wires, bolts. This is not a standard heavy bolter that you can pick up and use. This is a weapon designed purely for servitors. Definitely not something you could just pull off and use. Even the backpack is built into the chassis, into the torso of the servitor. Perhaps with time and effort and ingenuity and surgery, you may be able to make it usable, but that's going to require a few hours.
I'm gonna look back at the group. We want this thing for Earl. Maybe bring it back to the ship. See what we can't do about a heavy bolter for him. I could just lop it off with my chainsword here.
Oh yeah, and who's going to carry it?
I mean, I can't, but you know, we could maybe Earl. I'll give him extra cheese.
It would be interesting seeing if we can mesh the intricacies of the heavy bolter with his right arm.
What? No, no, you're not grafting a heavy bolter onto...
I believe it is one of the only ways we can get that weapon to function.
Or we could just get our own fucking servitor and graft it onto that.
Errol's looking at both of his hands at the moment, trying to work out which one's the right.
Just naming options, that's all.
If you want to take it with us and carry it, it's on your head. But drop it as soon as we're in combat, because it's big and heavy. And have you ever carried a heavy bolter before?
Yes, I have. I know how heavy they are.
And you know that we don't know how much further we have to go because the artifact's not here.
Just a thought. It was just a thought.
I'm just putting out there. That's a
We have a
slab of
map.
plastic.
We have a map. Come back for it later.
Yeah, we could come back for it. He's definitely not going anywhere.
Well, at least then help me move the body off of the platform that we're probably about to blow up then.
What? That's fair enough. What? Take the heavy bolter off, and then we'll rig it to blow, and you can stash it.
Yeah, Finley will then take out his chainsword, cut the arm.
Yeah.
Basically trying to be as delicate as he can be with a chainsword as one could be. Just to, cut the arm, trying to leave like the wiring and everything in place, and trying to wedge out the backpack and everything. And he's gonna stash it back by the door.
All right. For the sake of time, roll me a... I mean, this is a difficult one. Tech, I guess? Yeah, an easy tech roll. You've got time to pull this thing apart. And carve apart you do. You sever, or at least unclip, the belt feed from the heavy bolter, begin to carve through the shoulder, and eventually wrench the heavy bolter free of the servitor and drag it across over the platform into the mass of dead bodies before getting to the end of the room, propping it against the door, coming back, looking over the body again, and with the chainsaw just start to carve the front of the servitor out before eventually, again, another 20 or so minutes. I would imagine this thing takes half an hour in total for you just to carve through, move, go back, carve through the body, back, without your chainsaw overheating or getting caught up in the metal and flesh of the servitor. But yeah, eventually you manage to get the backpack, the belt feed, and the heavy bolter propped up against the door at the far end of the room. So whilst Finley's currently carving up the dead,
I'm gonna check the red robe guy.
Okay. Roll me a logic investigation check, please, Constantine. All right. Just glancing over him, his robes are certainly much different to the rest of the pilgrims. These are robes that have been stained red with blood. He's got a horrifically metallic aroma about him, and peering beneath the robes you would see signs of mutation. Some of his skin started to scale over. There would be a few small barbs that are protruding from his spine. Ears perhaps slightly elongated. One eye larger than the other. It seems to be a recurring thing. There is the foulness of warp-taint about this guy. And glancing over his belongings, there would be a multitude of blood-stained piece of parchment, and also amongst them a crudely drawn map.
Wonderful. So he's got a hand off the notes to whoever's not doing anything, probably Severin, because Tor and Finley are fucking busy dismembering the fucking servitor. And be like, just check over that, see if there's any intel, and he's gonna see if he can link up what his map on his data slate with this crudely drawn map to get a gist of it.
Okay. Again, you've got easily half an hour, so roll me an easy. I think it's going to be navigation check again. Yeah, just an easy navigation check. It takes a while. This crude map seems to be really roughly drawn, almost scrawled by unsteady hands, but eventually you manage to piece together two possible areas this map could link in with the map that you've got on the data slate. Slight difference is that what's been drawn on the map, only half of it seems to line up with what you've been given. Almost as if the map that you've got from the maintenance shaft and the catacombs is perhaps missing this area. But it is on level 7. And relatively close at that.
Okay. He's going to start planning his next move then to at least the starting point of where, his map ends and this map continues on. While I don't know, he'll hand off the like I say the blood-stained parchment with any writing on to Severin.
All right. Severin.
Yes.
What are you up to?
basically just he's just looking around.
Yeah.
Because obviously this reservoir goes somewhere, but like it's just a mess, and we're not going that way. So it seems like the only way in is through the door, and the only other way would be into the body of disgusting bloodwater. So he's just going to try to make sure that there's nothing else for
Absolutely.
ways in or out, just to be entirely sure. And that's
Yeah.
probably what he's going to be doing while all this is going on.
In that case, then, investigation, easy. And also a very easy, just awareness sight check. Okay.
Sight. And just a challenging?
No, a very easy sight check, please.
Oh, okay. All right.
Since you're the the only one who's actively looking at the surroundings, Constantine went to the body of the cultist. It seems Tor is preoccupied with assisting Finley in just removing the heavy bolter. Errol will come to you in a moment, but glancing around, Severin, the main things that will get your attention is that this small platform is a housing for pumps beneath, and you can hear the sound of motors pumping this blood from within the plasteel platform on the edge of the reservoir. What you also see as you glance back towards the door is that... Oh. Hold. Oh, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, change it to a different region. So, yeah, you can tell that the platform itself seems to house the pumping unit. There's a couple of pipes that draw in the liquid, and then you can't see where the piping goes, but judging by what you've seen on the way here, you imagine it seems to go through the bedrock, up and out. But the only thing that would garner your attention is a slew of power cables that seem to come from the direction of the door where you entered. These power cables, at a brief glance, look like they've just been jury-rigged together, and following them closer to the platform, you see that they've been bolted in, welded haphazardly, but just as a way to get some power to this ancient pump down here.
Instead of blowing this platform, might we just unplug the damn thing? Pointing at the power cable bundle.
Finley will look up from the servitor as he's digging into it. Well, I mean, we could cut the power, but what's stopping this from happening in the future? Why not remove the ability for the pumps to ever be used?
Fair point. But we'd be able to save our explosives.
He has a fair point.
Anything, in fact, whilst you're mulling over that, Errol, is anything in particular you're doing at this moment in time?
He's still trying to work out which is his right hand, but he's been keeping his distance from the Mechanicus chap. Because he likes his hands.
Understandable.
They put food in his mouth. So it's just being sheepish and sort of keeping out of the way.
Yeah, go on.
Actually, Errol, do me a favor. Help Severin and disconnect the power source, can you? Thank you.
And he's gonna just point to the power bundling, just and nearer to the platform probably is because it's easier. Just give this a pull from the platform towards the door, not the other way around.
Cool. So he gets that and lumbers over and just grabs a handful of this wire and just gives it an almighty yank.
Give me the easiest might check you can.
Righty dokey. Right.
Boom. So which way are you pulling it? From the door?
I'm pulling it from away from the pump because Severin told me how to do it.
Yeah. All right. There is...
I'm pulling it from about there on the picture. If that's
Yeah. As you begin to yank, you pull it with such force that the lights at the far end immediately blink out. The lights in the chamber that are up ahead also go out, leaving you all in pitch black for about 10-15 seconds.
Can't see. Am I blind?
No, Harold, you're not blind. Anybody got a torch? A lumen? Anything?
2 red emergency lights at the far end flicker on, casting an even more ominous glow down this blood-soaked room. But the humming of the generator or the pumps have stopped.
Well, I think we have a... Are you done gacking around with that stupid heavy bolter?
Yeah, we got it stashed back by the door. We'll be able to get it on the way out.
Wonderful. Come along. This can all get cleaned and consecrated by the tech priests later. Somebody else's problem. It smells like death in here. I think we have our next location. And it's not too far.
With Tor's augmetic eye, his auger ray, would he be able to see any lingering traces of...
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm guessing just all over this platform.
Yeah. There, if you get close to the platform, there seems to be an area, a circular area that's just scorched, not by fire, but the presence of the warp. The Imperium has scoured all life, blackened and charred the stone around this small crackle of purple on the platform. It seems that whatever's been tainting this place, if anywhere was going to be, it's probably right there. And any Auspex checks, any looking over your auger array, would... Stepping on that platform is directly exposing yourself to the presence of the warp. It's now when I would imagine you look at Finley, who's just been on there for a considerable amount of time whilst dragging this servitor off.
How are you in one piece?
Yeah, what do you mean? It's just a little windy in here.
What?
You don't feel different.
No, not at all.
Tor is going to turn to Constantine. There is significant warp data or warp signature coming from that platform.
Once we're back at the ship, you'll be checked over, okay?
No, I
Standard
understand.
protocols.
I'm fine though.
That is not normal. Just as a test, because this needs further exploration. Tor is going to cut the arm off of one of the bodies on the ground and just throw it into the center of the warp energy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, no! No, it's a terrible idea!
It must be tested.
As you throw the arm towards the center, roll me a... let's go with... I mean, I know I'm using the same sort of things, but I think it just makes sense. Just go with an athletics might. Easy check for you, please.
Oh yeah, he's not going to make this. It's going to soar like way left.
No, you throw the arm and in a perfect arc, it just hits the plasteel top of the platform with a sickening squelch before flopping and rolling a few times, landing almost dead center. You would all begin to see that the flesh of this arm begins to start to char and blacken, as if all life that was once there is just being scoured away. There's a few crackles of purple lightning that emit from the center, scorching the arm even more. And the arm, for a briefest of moments, you would see the fingers start to slowly animate, as if turning into some clawed hand. It twists, looks almost for a moment as if it's pointing in your direction before the energies just consume the remaining flesh, leaving naught but a blackened, charred, skeletal hand and forearm.
You see that, Finley? That's what you got close to.
Yeah, well. Yeah, see, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Again.
No, Errol, not again. It's very dangerous.
Alright, you said you had our next target.
I believe so. We'll send a purge team to clear whatever that is later.
So,
There you go.
anything else? Anything further anyone wishes from this place?
No, I want to get away from where the fucking arm was just pulled into the wall. Just in case it comes back.
All right. So, with heavy bolter and backpack in tow, Finley, I guess you're carrying these?
Oh, I thought we were stashing those there
Or
until
stashing
we
them.
were done. Yeah, we're stashing them
Okay.
there until we're done, and when on the way back, we'll get them.
Snag them.
Yep. We could just put them by the door.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. Stick it by the door. And with that, then, you step back into the claustrophobic, dusty corridors of the Ossuary of Martyred Rest. The lower level, 7th level. With the map now pointing towards a undisclosed part. You've got roughly a 45-minute to an hour's jaunt. Now, granted, at this point, you have all been going for a good while. It's been well over a day since you made planetfall. What are you doing to keep yourselves going?
Drugs.
I mean, Tor is a walking medical unit.
Apart from Tor, who's half robot. In fact, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, go on, Tor. What sort of things have you got to keep the crew up and running?
He's got neurostabilizers and some stimulants that he keeps like microdosing the air with around them.
Like a fucking spritz.
just to keep them enough energy to keep fighting another, couple hours until the next dose.
Yeah. So it's not hard drugs that we're microdosing the party with. But before we came down here, I recall giving everybody a bit of the recap.
Go. Yes. Yeah.
I should have the idea to get put like drugs in it, I guess.
Oh dear. So, at least we've got that covered. You guys can easily... This is not something out of the norm for you all. No doubt you've been on other escapades that have lasted longer and been harder on both your psyche and your physical forms. But since arriving on this planet with a somewhat capable enforcement team, along with a leader who is not completely useless, this has been a nice, easy, straight, clean-cut case of going in, finding the problem, stamping it out. A rarity, some might say, that a job is this straightforward. But in a shrine world such as this, where the vast majority of people are believed to be fervent worshippers of the God Emperor of mankind, even something as small as this could perhaps be catastrophic if left to fester. On the journey through the ossuary towards this side chamber, is there anything anyone wishes to do? Prepare, say, do?
I'll reload my pistol.
Okay.
Yep. Finley will top off his Willbreaker, but he's also, having heard he was in a bunch of corruption, possibly whatever warp, it doesn't, he feels fine. Just kind of keeping an eye on himself, make sure there's just nothing just random going on with him.
Make sure you don't grow in it like a third arm or something, or an eyeball sprouts in your chest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, you better not be going Prometheus on us.
Cool. So with that then, you pass through even more corridors, take sharp turns through the empty ossuary before eventually reaching an incredibly older part. Here, various beams have rusted due to age, some barely just holding the weight above. There would be, though, signs of activity as you begin to make your way through the chambers. Footprints in the dust, old tombs that have been ransacked, opened up. Whatever bones, possessions were in before have been long since cleared out. Instead, candles placed. Not normal candles. Each candle red in colour. The wax giving off the familiar sheen of dried blood, as if... Tor, roll me a Medicaid test, please.
Just straight up.
Straight up. I guess that'll do, a 9. There is a particular smell that comes from these candles. Mixed in with the metallic tang of blood is what smells like pork. Like meat. Burning.
Man flesh.
Errol, it smells pretty good.
No.
Lunch.
No, Errol.
These candles are the rendered fat and blood of who knows who. Made candle form. For everyone bar Finley, who's ignorant, the feeling in this older part of the crypt is unnerving, to say the least. And it would be here the familiar Vox broadcast that you've heard topside slowly begins to make its way down the corridors towards you. The lights, some of them new lights that have been placed in the corners, almost like spotlights that have just been plugged in and run a chain down towards a large circular opening where you see several bricks that have been moved aside. And here, Constantine, would be the location that the map scrawled points to. A section behind an old wall that leads even further, deeper beneath the ossuary, but not on any known maps.
Well, that map led us, it seems, to where we needed to be.
Oh, good thing we found it then. Relieved its ownership from its previous owner.
Yes, however, everything after this is uncharted waters. Let's go quick and quietly.
Do you step in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Constantine, you lead the group into this darkened hole, hidden behind ancient stone, where you are met with a blackened stone stairwell. Out of the gloom of a blackened stone stairwell strides a finely dressed man in a crimson greatcoat, his hand resting lightly on the ornate hilt of a chainsword, whilst a massive hand cannon gleams at his side. Beside him, a tech priest of the cult Mechanicus, his crimson robes swaying to reveal the gleaming steel of a chainsword and a vicious chain axe gripped tightly in augmetic hands. Behind them looms a towering Ogren encased in heavy carapace armour, a slab shield held ready in one hand and a ripper gun in the other, each step reverberating like a thunderclap in the suffocating confines. Flanking them, a veteran guardsman moves with practiced precision, his lasgun held steady, scanning the shadows for threats and trigger finger ready to reply. And finally at the rear, a bald-headed figure in a Voidsuit-esque attire, strides with las pistols drawn, his every movement poised and alert, the glow of their gear catching the edges of the crimson light below. Together, they descend, a vanguard of violence and resolve, marching into the depths of the unknown. This far below the surface, the air here is thick, acrid and stale, suffused with the sharp, unmistakable tang of blood. Each footfall echoes into the abyss both above and below the stairwell, the walls slick with moisture and strange gouges that mar their surface, scratches, symbols, and half-words formed as though carved by desperate hands. Ahead, a faint crimson light flickers at the bottom of the stairs, its glow pulsing unevenly like a dying heartbeat, and with each pulse, a low, guttural chant reverberates up the corridor, distant but unmistakable. As the bottom comes into view, a glow begins to sharpen into a deep, sinister red, spilling from the gaps of an enormous iron door that stands slightly ajar. Beyond, the sound of voices rise in a chorus of devotion and madness, calling to something ancient and profane. I think that's a good point for us to end it.
We've heard
Where we
that.
started.
Back, full circle, to the very beginning. Almost. But, with that said, there's a little jaunt. Thoughts so far?
I love
More. Give me more.
Yes, I need more.
So, for those who are just joining us, this basically is the point where we started this campaign. And I'm going to take a brief moment because I didn't miss it, but Side21 TV, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I hope you've enjoyed it. With that, though, yeah, that's the perfect time for us to put an end to it. So, closing words.
The Emperor protects.
Bye.
Blessings of the Omnissiah upon you.
Yeah, see you next time for Emperor's Tears. And also, see you tomorrow for Pariahs.
All
DM
right.
didn't expect us to go through this like a hot knife through butter.
I mean, did he or didn't he? Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, I don't
Me,
think
I know.
I don't think he expected us to kill that heavy bolt of fucking
Ah,
7
yeah,
so
okay.
quick.
Yeah.
I
He's
mean-
like, aha! Damn it!
Aha! Well, at least have a psyker. Aha! Oh!
And to be fair, we didn't have very many breaks tonight either.
That
so
is-
that would have stretched
yeah,
it out
True.
a bit more.
Can't believe you've done this. Just can't believe you've done this. Right. With that then, Ravon, thank you for those 100 bitties. I'm going to mute you lot up. Mute. Head over to the end screen. Hot. And yeah, let's change some tunes and see if we can find someone to raid. That was a little quick, but fuck it. So yeah, thank you once again everyone for joining us. I hope you enjoyed episode 3 of The Emperor's Tears. Next episode on Saturday, episode 4 will no doubt be the conclusion, the final one for this short little Imperium Maledictum campaign that we're running. Apart from that though, tomorrow 8 PM GMT, we've got episode 18 of Pariahs, our D&D dark gothic fantasy campaign. So if you're interested in even more bullshittery and chaos, then join us for that. So again, Side21TV, thank you for the follow. Thantos80, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hope you enjoyed it. Orc Skull, thank you for not only the raid, buddy, but also the 14-month resubscription. Link for Real, thank you too for the early follow. Yeah, with that, I'll find someone to raid, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Ta-ta! Ta-ta for now.